I had no intention of making a video today, but every now and then, maybe like once a year, I get the urge to make one of these videos, which is basically a video I wish I could have seen. We're gonna talk about it, man. I'm gonna talk about 5 things I wish I knew before jumping over to the dark side, man. So as you all know, the kid made the decision to go enhanced, but since that show, I've stuck to this route, made obviously bigger goals, like wanting to go pro and stuff, and we're still embarking on that journey. So I feel like I've been in the game long enough to know a couple of things that I do wish I knew before making the decision. So these are things maybe I wish I knew, or I wish I'd done, or I wish I planned for, or had a heads up about. Number 1, all right, this is the most fucking important thing. I wish I had a plan. Now by that I mean, when I made the decision to go enhanced, I only had that one show in mind, not considering was I going to stay on after, or what was the long-term goal, or did I have a plan to go pro, which can be dangerous because again, you are fucking with your body. So I could have been doing irreversible damage to the body. For what? For just that one show? Did I have a bigger plan? Was I going to make money from that show? Definitely fucking not. Again, I didn't know if I was going to stay on after. I feel like it was a very clouded in the moment decision. I did put a lot of thought into it, but I didn't put a long-term plan with the decision, which can fuck with a lot of things. If you don't know a long-term plan, like I want to go pro, this is the route I'm going to take, and definitely not just go with the flow. Now, if you plan on staying on anabolics for the rest of your entire life, I don't think you need a plan. But for someone like me, who I don't know whether I see this shit long term, I would have made the plan, maybe be as aggressive as I need to be, get in, get the job done, and get out, instead of wasting 2 years not knowing what I was doing, just on. Because when you are younger, you can get away with maybe abusing the body a little bit more, instead of being on for 10 years and not knowing what you're doing and winging it and competing some years and not competing others, but you're still on and you're messing up your body. Or you could have a bigger goal. You could want to be Mr. Olympia, but if you're just winging it, you could be on for 20 years trying to achieve that goal. Whereas if you had the plan, you have a coach who knows his shit, you could get in and get it done a lot quicker, man, and maybe be off this shit before you're 60. So I just wish I knew exactly what I wanted to achieve. I just had a plan. Number 2, the effects that this shit has on your mental. Now this is something that I never knew of. I would have considered myself one of the most emotionally mental stable people I knew. I was just always just zen going through life, just didn't really care, breezing through this shit. But this stuff messes with you. You will basically turn into a man woman, and by that I mean an emotional ass man. It's insane, and you won't understand it until you experience it. It's like every emotion, experience, feeling is enhanced. So if you're sad, sad as fuck. If you're happy, happy as fuck. If you're feeling down about life and are dealing with a lot of problems, expect tenfold. I just notice anyway, when I'm on, I'm emotional as fuck, bro, and that can mess with the mental. Some days you're feeling shit and you don't know why. You look insane, bro. You physically feel insane. But because everything is heightened, you could just wake up and have a shit day, and that turns into a shit week, and you have no idea why, but it's hormones. That's why there's some people out there running some crazy fucking cycles, and their whole personality changes, man. Their whole brain is being rewired by this shit. Never really overthought anything, overreacted to anything, never had anger issues, to everything just spiking. That'll catch you off guard. Number 3, the overhead. When you sign up to this shit, you sign a subscription, okay? You sign a subscription, bro. Yeah, depending on how big the goal is and what you are using, you have overhead. It's basically another bill on top of your ass every single month for what could be a lifetime, man. You could be running TRT for the rest of your life. So I'm not saying this shit's gonna break the bank, but it is something to consider. You're gonna have an overhead every single month. I wouldn't say that is the biggest worry if you are making that decision. I'm sure you know that, and you have good reason to justify that. But you don't consider it when you think of how much did I have to spend in a 12-month period, or I could be on for 6 years, and when it's broken down, that's a heavy ass subscription. Yeah, I just think people sign up to this shit not thinking a month in advance. They want to do it in the now, and they don't realize, fuck, I have to pay this shit every single month on top of what I'm already responsible to pay for: bills, car, insurance, gym memberships, dates, holidays, tax. Number 4, this is an interesting one, and this is something that I don't really experience a lot. It's how the average non-gym goer views you now. If you talk to someone who doesn't lift, isn't into the sport of bodybuilding, doesn't really get the whole scene, you're basically just a drug addict. And if I think back to when I was maybe 16 and I had that vision of someone, it was a dirty vision. But then now that I think about it, in this generation, ain't that bad. No, I'm joking. So expect some criminal side eyes from the grandmother. Again, I want to be that person that when people see me drop a video, it's just real, bro. I'll whip it out right now. What the fuck? It's just a weird dynamic because I've been so mentally invested in this sport now and who I'm around. We're all intertwined and interlinked in this shit the past couple of years, but then when I go back and like become Glenn before all this, and I'm interacting with non-gym goers and people I used to know, and when that shit comes up, it's like, what the fuck? He's a crackhead! And number 5, this is something that I could have never have known, but if I had the ability to know, I would have peeped in the door and made a better decision on my call. And that is, I wish I knew how I'd respond to this shit. Lads, how you respond to this shit is like 95% 95% genetics. You have to remember you are manipulating hormones that's already in your body. Some compounds aren't in your body and you're putting them in, but your genetics still plays a huge role on how you respond to anything. And it's not just that, it's how you respond to food, sleep, training intensity. There is people out there that can run grams of this shit and be half the size as me, training twice as long. It's sad, but it's true, man. This is not some magic potion that no matter the genetic, you will just be a freak. It doesn't work like that. I'm seeing some people out there destroying themselves, hopping on stage, looking like me when I was natty. And that's not me saying, holy shit, I respond sick and I'm this and I'm that. Luckily enough, I think there's a term for it. It's something responder. I had decent genetics. I responded to what I used very well, but you have to be aware that may not be the case for everybody. And it's an unforgiving decision. The sport of bodybuilding is an unforgiving sport. In saying that, there's people out there who are on this shit just to hit a 405 bench press. What after? We don't know. But I would have just liked to know how I'd respond. That would have saved me 2 years of trial and error. Now, is that irreversible damage? Probably not. But, however, you must take care of this shit. Don't be an idiot and think more fixes bad genetics. I could talk on these individual things forever. Might drop a podcast on this shit one day when I'm him. But yeah, I thought I would hit the record, drop some knowledge today. Just something I would have wished I could see. Because when it comes to this shit, I don't see nothing. I see fake natties. I see people telling me I'm running 10 grams of creatine and they are 230 pounds lean at 5'6". Hope you lot can take all this shit into consideration. Sit back, watch me do what I do. Just view, bro, alright? I know people are called influencers nowadays, but you don't need to open your phone and be influenced by Steven, who's doing side ab crunches with a 50-kilo dumbbell, explaining that's how you're gonna get shredded obliques, okay? Stop being influenced. Be entertained. Love you lot, appreciate it. Drop a sub. If I can hit 100k subs before I'm 50, I've done did some shit. I'm gonna go train legs. Over and out.